In this video, I'm going to show you how to build this simple user review star rating scorecard. As you can see, there are two sections. In your left section, you will be able to see average rating, and that value is represented by gray and yellow stars, and just below that we are displaying total number of ratings. Similarly, in your right section, you will be able to see different stars with specific value, and based on that value we are generating bar graph. And the amazing part of this video is that whenever there is any changes in our value that we have given for our specific stars, that will automatically reflect in our bar graph, average rating value, total rating value, everywhere. Without further ado, let's start. Hello and namaste everyone, this is Jitsaru with Coding Design. Welcome to our channel. If you are new here, please be sure to hit that subscribe button. As you can see, I have already created index.html file. Inside that, let's write starting basic HTML code. And for the title, let's give simple user review rating scorecard using vanilla JavaScript. Now within the body tag, let's create div with class name app. Inside that div, I am creating another div with class name rating. And once again, within that div, let's create two more div. For the first div, I am giving class name rating average. And for the second div, let's give class name rating progress. Now within the first div, let's create h1 heading. And I'm giving the average rating. Next to that, let's create div with class name star outer, and within that div, let's create another div with class name star inner. And within that, if I type ampersand hash 9733 semicolon, this is what you call HTML entity. Now with the help of this code, you'll be able to get star icon. Now let's copy this code and paste it 4 more times. And just outside of that, let's create paragraph tag. And within that, I'm giving total number of ratings. Similarly, within div with class name rating progress, let's create another div with class name rating progress value. And within that, I'm creating paragraph tag and I'm writing 5. And also next to that, let's create span tag with class name star, and let's copy the same HTML entity and paste it there. And just below that, let's create div with class name progress. Within that, I'm creating another div with class name bar. And just outside of that, let's create another paragraph tag, and there I'm giving a specific number of 5-star rating. Now with the help of live server extension, let's open this index.html file in our default browser. As you can see, this is the result. I was talking about this star icon. Okay, it looks like icon, but it's just a character. But again, if you want to use different third-party libraries for icons, then you can use that. Okay, now let's create a style.css file. And just below the title tag, let's give link for our style.css file. Let's save the file. Within the style.css file, first of all, I want to create different color variables where I'll be storing different color values. So within the root pseudo class, let's create primary variable, and within that, let's store dark blue color. Similarly, within the secondary variable, I'm storing a bit lighter version of that same blue color. And also, let's create another variable text color, and I'm giving white color. Now for the universal selector, in order to prevent this browser's default margin and padding, let's give margin and padding of 0. Similarly, for the box sizing, I'm giving border box. And also let's give font family to sans serif. So in your browser, you can see. Now let's style these different divs with class name app, rating. Okay, so let's select this div with class name app and div with class name rating. For the div with class name app, let's give minimum height of 100 ph. For the background color, let's give this primary variable. Okay, the variable that we have already declared there. And I want to give display grid. If I give place items to center, did you see that? All the content that is brought exactly at the center of your browser. And now for the div with class name rating, let's give display flex, align items to center, and also let's give column gap of 2 rem. So now you can see our rating average and rating progress, they are brought in the same single line with certain gap. Now let's style these two divs, that is div with class name rating average and rating progress. So now for the div with class name rating average, let's give width of 30%. Let's give width of 30%. And let's select all this code and duplicate it. Let's change that class name to rating progress, and for the width let's give 70%. And also now for the div with class name rating, let's give width of 75 VW. Now you can see there is much more space. And also for the div with class name rating average, let's give background color. I want to give this secondary variable. And also let's give padding of 1 rem. I want to give some rounded corners, so for the border radius I am giving 0.8 rem. Similarly, let's give text align to center. Now you can see everything is brought exactly at the center. Now let's style this h1 heading and also this paragraph. So for the h1 heading, that is within the div with class name rating average, let's give font size of 3 rem. And for the div with class name app, I want to give text color of this white color. Now you can see we are getting that white color text. Similarly, let's select hold this code and duplicate it. Now instead of that h1 heading, let's change it to paragraph tag. And now for the paragraph tag, let's give margin top to 0.7 rem. And also let's give letter spacing. I want to give 0.1 rem. Similarly, let's style this div with class name rating progress value. I want to give height of 2 rem. And also let's give display flex. And also align items to center so that all the content will be vertically centered. Similarly, let's give justify content to space evenly so that it would be distributed equally. And also now let's style this span with class name star. So you can copy this whole code and paste it there. And for the class star, I want to give font size of 1.2 rem. And also let's change text color to gold. Now you can see that yellow star. You can see within the same div we do have there 2 paragraphs. So I want to style that last paragraph. So now you can copy the same code and paste it there. I want to style that last paragraph tag, so I'm giving pseudo class last child and let's give width of 10%. Now let's style that div with class name progress and bar. So for the class progress, actually that is not the progress value, that is only progress. And also let's select class bar. For the class progress, I want to give flex. For the flex grow and shrink, I want to give 1, and for the flex basis, let's give 0. And for the height, I'm giving 0.5 rem. Now for the class bar, I'm giving height of 100%. That means I'm giving the same 0.5 rem. And if I give background color to gold, now you can see you will be able to get that yellow progress bar, but there isn't any proper gap. So for the div with class name rating progress value, you can give their column gap. I'm giving 1 rem. Now you can see there is proper space. Similarly, for the class bar, I want to give rounded corner. So for that, let's give border radius of 0.5 rem, and I want to duplicate same code and just bring it up there in our class progress. Similarly, for the class progress, let's give background color to this yellow color with some transparent value or alpha value. And now for the class bar, I'm giving nth child pseudo class, and within that I'm passing 1. So for the first child, let's give width of 80%. Now in your browser you can see actual progress bar. So there will be different 4 more progress bar. So now you can do something like you can select all this code and duplicate it. Now you can change that 5 star to 4 star, and you can change that specific rating value of 4 star. And in the same way you can give 3 more progress bar. Now in your browser you can see. Now what you can do is that you can take that width to within that class bar and you can remove this code, but later on we'll change this progress bars width. But now you can see all the codes that you have gave, they all are static. So in order to make it dynamic, we'll take the help of JavaScript. So now we don't need this code, okay? We can remove that. There are a few lines of JavaScript code. It's about 20 to 25 lines of code. So because of that, I'm not creating a separate file for our JavaScript code. Just before the end of body tag, let's create a script tag, and within that, let's create variable data, and I'm assigning array. So this data, it is now static, but it can be dynamic, okay? So if you are using any different backend language, then you can create different API, and with the help of fetch API, you can fetch different data. So it might look like something like this. So it's just on sample. So now you can iterate this sample data. So for that, I'm using for each loop. So for the array you can give their data, and for each data you can give your own relevant name. So I'm giving the rating, so that rating it represents each individual element that is within our array. Now within that callback, let's create rating progress variable, and I'm assigning backtick. In your keyboard, just above the tab button or next to that number 1 key, you can find out this symbol. So this is what you call template literals. With the help of this, you'll be able to manipulate your string and variables. So now within that backtick, let's go up and let's cut this code. We don't need this code because with the help of JavaScript, we are going to generate dynamically. And down there, you can paste it. And within the same callback, I'm writing document.querySelector. So I want to select the div with class name, this div, that is the class name rating progress. So I want to insert that dynamic code within our div with class name rating progress. So let's select that div with class name rating progress, and I'm writing dot in HTML is equal to variable name rating progress. For now, let's comment out this code, and if I refresh, did you see that everything is gone? So if I uncomment, and once again if you look at that, we have dynamically generated 5-star single progress bar. But if you have noticed there, with the help of for each loop, we are iterating our data, so there are 5 different elements, but in your browser we are getting only just one element. So for that, instead of that equal to, you need to give there plus equal to. So with the help of this code, you will be appending different elements within our div with class name rating progress. So once again, in our browser, look at that, we are getting different 5 elements. But if you have noticed there, all the data and the value, they are same. So let's make it dynamic. Okay, now instead of that 5-star and the specific rating value, or you can use their dollar curly bracket. So within that, now you will be able to pass any number, any specific variable. As you can see, we have iterated all the sample data, and within that you can see there are different objects with different key and value, so we can access that. So you can write rating dot, if I write star, now you will be able to get that specific key stars value. Similarly, now you can apply the same thing for our specific rating count. So within the dollar curly bracket, you can pass their rating dot count, and along with that I'm writing dot to local string. Now with the help of this method, you'll be able to convert that specific number into a string, and after each 3 digit you'll be able to give comma. Now in your browser we can see we are able to get different stars with different value, but still the progress bar that is static, so we need to make it dynamic. Okay, I mean based on their rating score, we need to represent that within our progress bar. Now for that, we need to calculate whole total rating score, and as you can see, for specific stars and there is a specific score, so we can take that specific score and divide by that total score. Then you'll be able to get that specific progress bar for specific stars. So for that, let's duplicate the same for each loop, and now let's create variable name total rating, and initially I'm giving 0, and within that for each loop for the total rating I'm giving their plus equal to, let's take the same rating dot count. Now with the help of this code, you will be able to calculate total number of rating score, and I'm storing that value within our total rating variable. Now with the help of this total rating and the specific score for our specific star, I will be able to generate our progress bar. So as you can see in the restyle.css file, for the class bar we have gave their width of 80%, so that was given manually. Now let's cut this code, we don't need this, and for the div with class name bar, let's give style attribute, and within that let's paste the same width code. Now that 80, that number should be dynamic. Okay, so for that, once again within the dollar curly bracket, I can get that specific rating score by writing something like rating dot count, and if I divide by total rating, now we need to wrap whole this code within our small bracket, multiply with 100, then finally you will be able to generate total percentage within range of 0 to 100. And remember, this is really important, and just outside of that you need to give the percentage that represents the CSS unit, otherwise it won't work. Okay, so just be careful. So in your browser, did you see that based on different rating score we are giving different progress bar? As you can see, we have already calculated total number of ratings, so now we can display that value within this paragraph tag. So now we need to display that. So I'm writing document.querySelector, and we are selecting that paragraph tag which is within div with class name rating average. So for that paragraph, let's give dot inner HTML is equal to, so we can give this total rating. But when you are selecting any specific element from our HTML code, it is better to select at the beginning. Okay, that's the better approach. I'm not really good at naming variables, so because of that I'm using this approach. So in your browser you can see now our total number of rating, that is also dynamic. Once again, if you want to give comma after 3 digit, then you can take the help of same to locale string function. Now you can see the value that we have give for average rating, that is still static, so let's make it dynamic. Okay, let's create another variable rating based on star. Initially I'm giving 0. Be careful, I'm giving there comma, so because of that I don't need to write let keyword multiple times. Now you can take the same variable and paste it down within that arrow function, and I'm using the same previous technique, plus equal to, and you can give the same rating.count. So that will give you the specific number of ratings for specific star, and if I multiply with rating.star, now you'll be able to get total number of ratings based on a specific star. So as you can see in our index.html file, we have given there 4.5, that was the static code. Now we can make it dynamic. For that you can duplicate the same code. Now we can select h1 heading, that is within our div with class name rating average, and before that I think I need to create separate variable for our average rating. For that I'm creating variable name rating average and I'm assigning. So now you can take help of total number of rating based on specific stars and the total number of rating. So you can do something like rating based on stars divided by total rating, and you'll be able to generate something like 3 point extra long decimal digits. So I want to get just extra 1 decimal digit. For that you can do something like you can wrap whole this code with a small bracket, and I'm writing dot to fixed, and within that method I'm passing 1 because I want to get just 1 decimal digit. So now you can copy this rating average variable, and instead of this code you can give that rating average variable. Now in your browser, did you see that? We are able to generate average rating from our different star rating values. And now in our index.html file, if you just go up there, you can see for the div with class name star inner, we have give their HTML entity which represents star icon. It looks a bit ugly. So instead of giving that star icon with the help of HTML code, we'll be giving same icon with the help of CSS code. So in our star.css file, we'll select both this star outer and class star inner. Now for the div with class name star outer, let's give position of relative, and for the class star inner I'm giving position of absolute. For the class star outer, let's give font size of 2 rem. But in your browser you can see still we are not able to get that star icon. It's because we are not giving that specific code for our star. So for that, let's duplicate the same code and bring it down there. And for the class star outer, I'm giving before pseudo element. As you know, for the before pseudo element you have to give that content property, otherwise you won't be able to create that before pseudo element. So for the content I'm giving string, and within that if I give /2605, that is the Unicode. And in your browser you can see now you'll be able to get that star icon, but we need 4 more star. For that, let's copy the same Unicode and paste it there. As you know, it's a character, so for the color I want to give this white color with some transparent value. Similarly, now you can select whole this code and duplicate it. I want to just bring it down, and now instead of that class star outer, let's give class star inner, and I'm giving the same 5 star, but I want to change color to gold. Now you can see 5 gray stars and 5 yellow stars. So if you have question like why am I creating 2 different stars, it's because I want to represent that average rating value with our stars. So it's kind of trick, so just hang in there, I'll show you what's really going on. For the class star inner, if I give top to 0 and also left to 0, although our top position that is what we want, but the left position we need to take it to the same position of our gray stars. So for that, for the class star outer, if I give display to inline block, now did you see that our yellow stars, they are exactly at the position of our gray stars, and our yellow stars, they are overlapping our gray stars. Now we can control that number of yellow stars. For the class star inner, if I give width of 50% and also overflow to hidden, so this code is really necessary. Okay, Now in your browser, did you see that? With the help of that width, now you will be able to control the total number of alloy stars, but still it's static. Okay, let's make it dynamic. In your browser you can see there is 4.2, which is our average rating. So that number, that must be represented by our alloy stars. Now we can just control that width. So first of all, let's copy this class star inner, and in your JavaScript code you can write something like document.querySelector, and you can pass the same class star inner, and I'm writing dot style dot. You can copy that same width code and paste it there, and I'm giving width is equal to 0%. So that's 0. We need to make it dynamic. For that, you can take the same rating average variable where we have stored average rating value, and if I divide by 5, because our total number of stars, that is the 5, and I'm writing plus, and let's wrap that percent with double quote. It's because in JavaScript that represents modulus, but that is actually our CSS unit that we have gave for our width, and also we need to convert it into 100%. So for that, let's wrap this whole code with small bracket. So we are using the same technique that we have previously used. So you can write there something like asterisk 100. So once again in your browser, did you see that? Based on your average rating value, we are representing that value with our alloy stars. So let me show you. What if I change our sample data's value? Something like if I change that 5 stars rating value. Whenever you are changing any specific stars value, you'll be able to see changes everywhere, whether it is progress bar, whether it is average rating value or our total rating value, and also you'll be able to get that specific alloy stars based on that average rating. So isn't this beautiful? So whenever there is any changes in our data that we may receive from our database, it automatically calculates everything, and all that values, they are calculated within client side and they are represented in elegant way. So what do you think about this project? I hope this was helpful. So that's all for today. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you did learn something, smash that like button. If you have any kind of queries, let me know in the comment box. Share this video if you think someone needs it, and also if you haven't already hit that subscribe button and also the notification bell icon. Remember, there is always more to learn, so keep learning.